And now we're back. So, where were we? Ah, yes. Hitomi Ishigami continues to revel in the destruction her plan is causing. Uh, and inner Mocha arrives, but Hitomi Ishigami is expecting her. Inner Mocha says that despite her boisterous talk of art, all Hitomi really wants is just revenge. Hitomi Ishigami starts to remove her bandana, revealing her not only her snake hair, which is uh, a common trait of the Gorgons, but also the scar that she got from her fight with Mocha. As she says that she isn't doing this as a revenge scheme, uh, but because she's developed a love-hate uh, relationship for her in her for her elegance and power. And because of this, she wishes to possess Inner Mocha as an artwork now more than ever. I told you all that Hitomi Ishigami was a freaking psychopath. Oh, anyway, Inner Mocha says she's not interested in that and demands the mirror from the Gorgon. However, Hitomi Ishigami manages to use her speed to blindside Mocha and pop behind her to inject her snake venom to petrify her. And for those who are about to ask, Hitomi Ishigami is a lesser breed of Gorgons, so she cannot turn people to stone through a gaze like Medusa, Uriel, and Steno. Uh, but back to the story. Inner Mocha is confused by this because she knows that she's stronger and faster than Hitomi Ishigami and should be easily able to outmaneuver and fight back against her. Skune is meanwhile worrying about Inner Mocha, but the girls tell him to forget about her since she says she no longer needs him, and that he should start considering which one of them should replace Mocha. Hitomi continues to get the upper hand on Mocha as she progressively petrifies, and even has Mocha surrounded by a bunch of monsters to help prevent her escape. And Mocha starts to ponder why is she being. That even if she's turning to stone, she should be able to outclass Hitomi, yet is unable to. And Hitomi Ishigami reveals the truth. She states that since the rosary is still on her and the seal hasn't been removed, it's still restricting her powers despite her being Inner Mocha now. And that any effect the Lilith mirror had on her is only temporary, and thus she'll be just as weak as Outer Mocha. And that was her plan all along, to separate Mocha from her friends and take away her power away, so she would be at her mercy. I gotta admit, that is some pretty good planning. I'm really liking the writing in these two chapters. Mocha states now she needs the mirror more than ever because before she relied on Skune to fight, and without him and the mirror, she couldn't fight to protect herself with the rosary still on, and she couldn't fight to protect those she cared about. This sickens Hitomi Ishigami that Inner Mocha would care about someone as someone she deems worthless as Skune, even though she saw Skune temporarily turn into a vampire and beat the leader of the Safety Commission, whose powers are arguably on par with a god. Just saying. Then she continues to say that once Inner Mocha has been turned into a statue, she'll love her as an art piece, not as a lesbian. Though that would be an interesting dynamic. The Then the newspaper club comes from the sky via Kurumu carrying Mizure and Yukari, and they manage to overhear Inamoka's confession and start rescuing them. Kurumu says they regained their senses when Tsukune told them that despite all their demands, none of them could ever replace Mocha, and just like nobody could replace any of them. They're all very dear to him. Uh, yes, I know this is a bit of a trope with the harem mangas and animes that the main character is indecisive in which woman he wants because he's too busy trying to decide whether or not to go with his sexual instincts or try to keep the friendship. And it's made even worse by the fact that most of these girls can kick his ass. But it's pretty nice for the character to admit something like this. Let's see. Uh, and and Scooney, while he's making the speech, Scooney comes to the realization that Lilith Mirror can never replace him. And then we cut back to where the fight has been going on, and Ruby is carrying Skune, and he flies him towards Innermocha. Skune says such trivial things shouldn't bother them since they're all friends, shocking Innermocha with his conviction and devotion. And he removes the rosary from her, allowing Innermocha to regain her true power. Hitomi Ishigami is completely pissed that once again Skune has foiled her plans and starts to attack, but fortunately Innermocha defeats Hitomi by kicking her into a part of the roof. Then we cut to the exorcist Mikogami arriving to retrieve Lilith Mirror, and says that when he first opened the academy, he thought the whole chaos thing would happen, not just because of with humans, but also because some of these monsters are rather antagonistic. Hence why he kept them in disguises so that would have a better chance of building relationships. Then he starts talking with the bus driver, and they both agree that despite monsters having survived for millennia by keeping their existence obscured, humans will eventually find out, and they need to find out by monsters being honest in order to achieve coexistence. And this is supported by Innermocha shaking Skinny's hand, signifying that she now trusts him and now acknowledges him as a friend. This was a really good chapter. We finally get to delve deeper into how Innermocha feels about Skinny in contrast to Outermocha, as well as see just how much of a threat that Hitomi Ishigami could prove herself to be, despite this being her last appearance. Which is a real shame. I really thought she had potential to carry on until the Rosario Vampire Year 2. And we also get to see some nice balance between dramatic story, horror elements, and good sexual humor. So, next time, on Wednesday, we'll be reading the final 2 chapters of Rosario Vampire and making our way towards Rosario Vampire Year 2.